Fox Sports.
We are sports. We are Southeast.
On a perfect September evening in Atlanta, the Stars are out at SunTrust Park. Giancarlo Stanton, Christian Yelich, and the Miami Marlins come to town to face Ozzie Albies, Freddie Freeman, and the Atlanta Braves in Game 1 of a 4-game set here at SunTrust. Hi again, friends. Joe and Chip, welcome back to the ballpark. We haven't seen the Marlins in a while, in a little over a month to be exact. And when the Braves have seen the fish, they've certainly enjoyed it. We got a big problem, though. Giancarlo Stanton is rolling. He's coming to town for Miami. And Miami's got to worry about getting Freddie Freeman out, too.
Yeah, we've got a clash of stars is a good description of this. Two guys who are having tremendous years and two of the bigger stars in the National League East. Freddie Freeman, 27 years old, 78th pick. Remember that now. 78th pick of the 2007 draft. His slugging and OPS both in the top 6 in the major leagues. And lately, he's been red hot, a .330 average with 22 RBIs in those 30 games. And for Giancarlo Stanton, remember I talked about when he was drafted? Giancarlo Stanton was taken in that same draft, just 2 picks apart from Freddie Freeman. He leads the majors with 53 homers, 32 in his last 56 games, if you can believe that. And he has some games remaining against some teams that are very hitter friendly. He's probably hit the longest home run of the year this year at SunTrust Park on their last visit.
So hopefully Sean Newcomb will keep Giancarlo Stanton and the rest of the Marlins under control. They've lost 9 of their last 10 games. Perhaps they're ripe for the picking this weekend. It's Game 1 of 4. Newcomb versus Straley. Braves versus Marlins. First pitch and more from SunTrust Park coming right up. Gorgeous night in Atlanta at SunTrust Park and the Battery, Atlanta, as the Braves and Fighting Fish meet for the first of 4 games this weekend. Braves have enjoyed lots of success against the Marlins this year and in seasons past, something Sean Newcomb hopes continues tonight.
It was his second start in the big leagues. That was against the Marlins on June 16th. Gave up 3 earned runs. A quality start, but did walk 4 in 106 pitches. He'll try to reduce the number of pitches and go a little deeper in the game and cut down on the walks as well. He is 2-8 on the year, a 4.31 ERA. His 4 keys to pitching success tonight. It starts with the first batter, D. Gordon. He is hot. 10 for his last 26. He's stolen 49 bases. Good idea to keep him off the sacks. And the struggling fish are swimming upstream lately. They had a real hot streak in August, but they have lost 9 of their last 10, and they've only scored 13 total runs in those 9 games. Maybe Sean can take advantage of that cool spell.
But as you said, the Marlins spark plug is D. Gordon. He leads off for Don Mattingly's club, which enters play tonight at 67 and 72 on the year. Stanton second. That's made a world of difference for him and the Marlins lineup. Yelich and Ozuna, terrific 3 and 4 hitters. Realmuto, Anderson, Ellis, Aviles at short, and Dan Straley is the Marlins pitcher. We are underway in Atlanta, and it's a called strike to D. Gordon at 95 miles an hour. 72 degrees, a very pleasant night. And Marty Foster said that was off the plate, even count. Gordon riding a 10-game hitting streak, 18 hits in those 10 games. And he strokes one deep toward right center field. Long run ender. He's not going to get it. And that's up against the fence. Gordon with a big turnaround second is on his way to third. And he is going to slide in with a leadoff triple. The ball got away and nearly went into the Marlins dugout. So D. Gordon with his 7th triple extends his hitting streak to 11 games, and Miami has the first runner of the game at third base with nobody out.
Not a ton of extra base hits and only 1 home run, but as you said, 7 triples, and he hit that ball hard. And no trouble at all for him to circle the bases.
So Giancarlo Stanton looks at his first pitch from Newcomb tonight, and it's up and away. 1 ball, no strikes. First, the great numbers for Stanton: 53 homers, 112 RBIs, and a .282 average. However, in the last 10 games, Giancarlo Stanton is symptomatic of what's happened to the Marlins offense. He's 3 for his last 35 with 12 strikeouts. Those 3 hits, however, were home runs.
Of course they were. Good fastball there. Blew that right by him.
So Newcomb ahead, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And off the plate. Again, the last time we saw the Marlins, we immediately noticed the new batting stance that he has employed, and the word you used, Joe, I believe, was torque with his swing.
Yeah, he's generating a lot of hip torque in that swing on anything middle in, but he's also, it's allowing him to drive the ball better to right center field. He's hitting a lot of homers the other way.
Full count. A leadoff triple for Gordon. And Stanton swings and misses. Newcomb strikes him out. So he wins round 1 of the matchup here in the first inning.
High fastball. 4-seamer. Swung right through it. And got after him. Good for Sean to just challenge him.
So Stanton not even able to hit a fly ball to bring home Gordon. Marlins batting 103 with runners in scoring position in their last 10 games. And 0 for 1 already tonight. Christian Yelich with a .287 mark. He's knocked in 71 runs.
A little smirk on his face. He's a little late on that one.
Yelich has 27 go-ahead RBIs this year. And he just took an inside corner pitch for a called strike. 0-2. So old buddy Freddie Gonzalez, the Marlins third base coach. And just missed.
Good try, though. Stayed with the fastball.
So let's see if Sean can finish off Yelich with 2 strikes. It's fouled away.
D. Gordon will be ready to score on anything hit on the ground because the Braves infield is back. Only a comebacker would prevent him from scoring on a ground ball.
Sean gets his sign now, and the 1-2 pitch. The screen. I think it's safe to say, Joe, that things are trending in a much better direction for Sean Newcomb of late. Much better results in his last 7 games.
Yeah, his ERA is down. He's allowed 3 earned runs or less in 7 of his last 8. There's still those walks.
Right.
And in his last 42 1/3 innings coming in over his last 8 starts, he had walked 30 men in those 42 innings.
So those walks, deep counts, foul balls with 2 strikes.
Real short outing.
Pushes pitch count up. He's gone more than 5 innings in 3 of his last 8.
This is where, in talking to Ted Simmons in Chicago, Brave scout said that Newcomb really needs a slider. He needs a slider for left-handed hitters in situations like this to get the strikeout. Curveball is not a strikeout pitch if they can still fight it off like Yelich is doing. But if he had a good slider to get him to chase when he's ahead in the count, it would be a much better weapon.
Sharply hit and through by Yelich for a run-scoring single. And Christian Yelich has his 72nd RBI. It's 1-0 Marlins.
The curveball gives a left-handed hitter a much better look, and it gives them time to adjust. And that's what happened there. You see that Kurt was set up away. He wants the breaking ball to break away and off the plate. But if you continue to throw that curveball at a left-handed hitter, even if they flinch, they're still going to get a good look at it, and Yelich did.
So he's aboard in front of Marcell Ozuna, who's had a remarkable year. Ozuna with 32 homers. He's knocked in 107. And 4 of his home runs have come against the Braves. That's in the dirt. To think a couple of years ago, the Marlins sent Ozuna back to AAA. They were somewhat frustrated with what he was doing with the big club. Came back last year with Barry Bonds as the Miami hitting coach and hit 23 homers, drove in 76. Well, whatever lessons Barry Bonds taught him, he has remembered them because he's having a gigantic year. Runner goes, ball in the dirt, throw to second, no chance to get Yelich, who steals his 13th base.
Nice jump by Yelich. And a nice play by Kurt to even glove the ball before he threw it. Ozuna's another guy that lately has been striking out a lot too, though. 10 strikeouts his last 7 games.
Put that one in play and hit it deep to right. Jace Peterson got near that fence. Leaping try. Can't get it. It's up above the padding. And it ricochets back toward the infield. A run is in. Ozuna headed to third. Relay throw from Dansby's going to be late. So the Marlins have 2 triples in the first inning. They have 2 runs in the first inning.
So Ozuna okay. This was a fastball that when he hit it I thought was probably going into the chop house. Nice try by Jace, just out of his reach. Right at the top of the padding. Oh man, that was close.
And Ozuna with a hard head first slide into third. Drives home his 108th run. So JT Realmuto is the Marlins first baseman. He's got 16 homers. One of them was an inside the Parker. Infield comes in for Atlanta as Newcomb gets ahead 0-2.
This is a tremendous amount of offense for the Marlins based on their last 10 games.
13 runs in their last 9 losses. They've got 2 first inning runs thanks to 3 hits, 2 triples. And up and away, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
This is kind of what they did to the Braves back on August 6th. Lucas Sims started the ball game and gave up 4 runs in the first inning, a 3-run homer to Ozuna, a home run to this guy Realmuto back to back, and they made that stand up. They won the game 4-1.
Well, another strikeout with a runner at third and less than 2 outs for the Marlins in the first inning. Realmuto couldn't make contact. Ozuna stranded at third base for the moment as Brian Anderson's going to swing the bat for the first time against the Braves. Anderson was called up Friday. 3rd round pick by Miami from the University of Arkansas. And they are looking for third base help. In large part because Martin Prado's had an injury-plagued campaign for Miami. Anderson with 22 big league at bats, hitting .227, looking for his first RBI. And down and in, ball 2.
He's from Edmond, Oklahoma, and he and Realmuto actually played against each other in high school. They were rival high schools.
So they went to different high schools together.
Together, yes, they did.
Perfect. Well, this kid had 22 home runs in the minor leagues this year. And he's got his first RBI. A 2-out single up the middle brings home Ozuna, and it's 3-0 Marlins. That ball was stung.
He connected on a fastball. Long-legged guy, 6'2", listed 6'2", 198.
So his first major league RBI comes with 2 outs. Chuck Hernandez to the mound to talk with Newcomb. As you see, 28 first inning pitches for Sean. Two strikeouts, 4 hits, 3 runs, and A.J. Ellis is the Miami catcher. Marlins are 15-15 when he straps the harness on. And down and in, 1 ball, no strikes.
Game back in August when the Marlins got 4 off of Lucas Sims. He was able to shut him down for 5 innings after that and the bullpen shut him down the rest of the way. But Atlanta only able to push across 1 run.
That was against Jose Urena, who picked up his 10th win. 2 balls, no strikes. "31 first inning pitches." High fly ball hit to left. Kemp on the run, drifting back to the track. He's got room, and he makes the play right at the 375 mark. Ellis tried to hit a moonshot, but the park big enough to hold it. The struggling Marlins got 3 in the first. Dan Straley coming on for the Fish with a 3-0 lead. Have 29 comeback wins. Maybe they can make today number 30. Ender Inciarte, the man that loves the double dips. He's going to lead off the Braves Toyota starting lineup. Notice the change at the bottom. Jace Peterson's in the lineup to play right field. Nick Markakis is unavailable tonight. And of course, in our star-studded matchup, Giancarlo Stanton for Miami, Freddie Freeman for the Braves. They'll face Dan Straley, who's a Forrest Gump pitcher. Box of chocolates. They don't know exactly what they're going to get from this guy.
That's a very good description. This year against the Braves, 3 starts, and they've all been good. 2-1 with a 2.12 ERA, but he's also gotten a ton of run support. In fact, he's 4th in the National League overall in run support. 28 years old, 6'1", 220. Born in Redlands, California, originally signed by Oakland. Last year, 14-8 with the Reds, and then they traded him to the Fish. Surprising development.
As Ender Inciarte takes a ball low, 1 ball, no strikes.
That assortment you're talking about. High 80s, low 90s fastball, slider, good changeup, and an occasional curve.
I'm kind of partial to the caramels in the box of chocolates myself. You?
I'll go with the cream.
Yeah. 1-1 pitch. That ball creamed but foul. 1-2 for the Braves center fielder. Ender up to 180 hits now. His pace 211. Marquise Grissom, the last Brave with a 200 or better hit season. And tapped foul. 1-2. It seems to me, Joe, when he has these stretches where he's piling up multi-hit games day after day, his swing is just so smooth and easy, almost effortless, the way the bat gets through the zone. And the ball jumps.
It's because he's in those situations, he's really letting the ball travel. and I don't want to say he's fighting it off, but he's confident that he can use his hands to put the ball in play.
Braves would gladly take a leadoff walk after Straley was given a 3-0 first inning lead.
Yeah, he's only walked 3 Atlanta Braves this year in 17 innings in those 3 starts.
So the pitch of decision coming, and it's fouled away. There's the walk. Straley thought it was good enough, but Marty Foster said it was low. There's a good start for the Braves. Leadoff free pass. Ender Inciarte.
Gotta like that when you're already down by 3 and he helps you get something started. Well, that is a darn good eye to lay off that.
So we saw D. Gordon's speed. Let's see if Ozzie gets a chance to turn on the afterburners here. He's got 5 triples. He's done that in just 34 games. He's bumped his average up to 280. And taken low, ball 1. That's tipped and caught by Ellis. Count even. A ball into strike. Those 5 triples for Ozzie Albies, the most by any major league player in 34 games since 1983. The last major leaguer to have more than 5 triples in his first 33 games was Butch Davis with the Royals.
1983. Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Played with Butch. My recollection was that on that tartan turf at Coughlin Stadium, he was hitting a lot of gappers, and that ball was impossible to cut off in the gaps.
1-1. And now a ball and 2 strikes. In fact, Ozzie's 5 triples since his call up on August 1st is the most of any major league player in that stretch. So he'll try to extend a 5-game hitting streak tonight. He's behind in the count against Straley, 1-2. Ender a good lead at first. The pitch smothered by Ellis.
Yeah, normally for a double play possibility, middle infielders were shortened up. But man, oh man, look how these guys have shortened up, especially D. Gordon at second base. He's backing up a little bit now, but he had been in real tight.
Swing and a miss. And Albies is down on strikes. 1 on, 1 out for first baseman Freddie Freeman.
Beautiful change up here. Beautiful spot. Circle change. Well done by the veteran pitcher. Ozzie did play against Miami in that most recent series and went 1 for 9 against them.
Well, here's the right guy at the right time for Atlanta. Freddie Freeman has always worn out the Marlins. Freddie's got a couple of homers among his 10 hits this season against the Fish. And as you see, 24 and 63 the power numbers for him. Nine hits in his last 5 games. So he's got a 5-game streak. And his good work of late is our Georgia Lottery jackpot feature.
His last 5 games reached an 11 of 22 plate appearances. Great numbers, great production. Back up to 319 overall.
Popped it up. Avila's at shortstop, drifts back, and he makes the play for the second out.
That time of night to make sure you run it out just in case they lose it.
So Ender still at first, 2 outs. Matt Kemp, the batter. That's had limited duty against Miami this year, 4 for 17 in total. Matt had a 1 for 4 nightcap against the Rangers and didn't get that. Strike 1. He's coming off a split of a double dip with Texas. They won 5-4 yesterday. Julio Teheran picked up his 3rd straight win as the Braves beat their old nemesis Cole Hamels, who gave up 5 runs in the 2nd inning, and Texas couldn't complete the comeback.
And Julio into double digits in wins. Good for him.
No balls and a strike. Runner goes. The pitch inside. The throw tails. And did Gordon hang on? He did, but it's a stolen base.
Ender wound up with the glove.
He didn't hang on. When Gordon spun, I thought I saw the glove on his hand. No, Ender had it. Like he was carrying the football across the goal line. Watch this.
AT Ellis, pretty good. 3 out of 10. But he expects the second baseman to hang on to the ball and his glove. That's pretty good.
If he holds on to the glove, they got him. And now Don Mattingly's out to check on D. Gordon here. Even Gordon's starting to laugh. And Don Mattingly wants an explanation too from Chad Whitson. Did Gordon apply the tag and have enough control for that to be a caught stealing, even though the glove was kneed out of his left hand? And I'm pretty sure the umpire is going to say, well, by definition, if you don't even have the glove, much less the ball, that doesn't mean control.
You got to maintain control. And in slow motion, it looks like he held on to it a lot longer than he actually did.
He's really lucky he didn't get hurt. So a stolen base. Straley working very deliberately here in the bottom of the 1st.
We're spending a lot of time on Ender.
Kemp to center and right at Yelich, who puts the squeeze on that. Leadoff walk left stranded for Atlanta. 3-0 Miami as we head to inning number 2.
Andre Aldridge here with you, and we are all aware of the hurricane situation going on in South Florida right now for the entire state down there in Florida, and the Braves are well aware of this too. And because of that situation, and because some folks have been displaced and there have been some mandatory evacuations, well, some have been displaced to our area, and the Braves have extended an open invitation to all Florida residents, in addition to those who have faced mandatory evacuations in some South Carolina and Georgia counties, to come to any game of this series at SunTrust Park for free. Those residents just need to show their ID at the ticket office for a complimentary ticket. Now, the Braves made it a point to say that they understand the difficulty for those who have been forced to evacuate their homes, but added maybe a few hours here at the ballpark, Chip and Joe, can take their minds off of that if they're in that situation.
That's a great story, Andre. That's an exact quote from Derek Schiller, Braves president of business here at SunTrust Park. And what a wonderful gesture for the folks trying to get out of the path of Hurricane Irma.
Heck yeah, that's just wonderful. And when you get displaced or have to come up here and stay with some relatives or friends or in a motel or hotel, this will give you something to do, and it won't cost you a penny to get in. That's great.
Game times for the series here with the Marlins. 7:35 tomorrow night. There'll be fireworks after the game. Saturday's a 7 o'clock game, and then Sunday a 1:35 start, which wraps up the homestand. As Mike Aviles digs in and takes high and tight, another full count. To your point about families in hotel rooms, that's exactly what the Marlins are going through as they start their road trip. We all, I'm sure, have been glued to the Weather Channel. As this one's hit towards second, and Albies, he makes the play. Jeffrey Loria, the Marlins owner, as he sent his team on the road, told the players to bring their families, their kids, their pets even, and get them out of South Florida. They've got a huge contingent of people that are part of their traveling party that'll be staying in Atlanta for this entire 4-game series, and then they go to Philadelphia next. And quite frankly, they don't know when they're going to be able to get back to South Florida if all the projections that we're seeing on the computer models prove to be true.
Yeah, our pal Rich Walls next door, play-by-play man for the Marlins, said, you know, he said, I realized as I was packing for this road trip that I might be gone 3 weeks. Don't know.
Right. Swing and a miss by Straley, who bats with the bases empty and 1 out. So indeed a wonderful gesture by the Braves. Hope everybody who's displaced is safe, and those making their way up to Georgia and beyond, hopefully be patient and get out of harm's way. We're thinking about you. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Straley's retired. Newcomb's got his 3rd strikeout, and there's the 2nd out of the inning. Back to the top, D. Gordon, who greeted Sean with a triple and scored the game's 1st run.
These young guys, these young pitchers for the Braves, are racking up tons of strikeouts, and Sean Newcomb's put himself on a list with some pretty good pitchers through his first 15 starts and the number of strikeouts, but they also are having to throw a lot of pitches. And it's not limited to Sean. Yesterday, Gohara in his first start, granted, first big league start for him, struck out 6 in 4 innings, but man, he had to work hard and had base runners every inning. So the strikeouts are great. Outs early in the count are even better.
So here's a spot where, as you said, as Sean continues to learn on the job at the major league level, can he finish off 2 strike at bats quickly? That 3rd pitch probably would be a big help, especially to a hitter like D. Gordon. Ooh, shoots one to the right side. Great pick by Albies to Rob Gordon. That's exactly what Newcomb needed, a big pick-me-up defensively, and D. Gordon with a pat on the back for Ozzie Albies. One second baseman to another. He appreciated that excellent play to retire the Marlins 1-2-3 in the top of the 2nd. Every night on every device. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live. Plus, get a free subscription to @Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for all the details. Kurt Suzuki, Rio Ruiz, and Dansby Swanson are coming up for the Braves. And Straley staked to a 3-0 lead. Kurt at 253 for the year. He's hit 15 homers.
Talked to Tyler Flowers tonight before the game, and his hand is feeling a lot better. He's been taking some swings and was going to hit in the cage, take regular batting practice today, and he's hoping to be able to play tomorrow when he comes off the list.
That'll be good to see.
Yeah.
Tyler and Kurt Suzuki, part of a terrific catching and hitting tandem for the Braves in 2017. Tip of the cap to David Freitas, who's done nice work as well, filling in for Tyler Flowers. As that one missed inside to Kurt. 2 balls and a strike. Two and two. I would imagine with the kind of year Kurt Suzuki has had, Joe, he's going to be a very highly scouted and highly coveted player on the open market.
No doubt about it.
Driven out of play, right side.
And given his age and experience, I'm sure he and his agent will do everything they can to make the best of what he's done this year.
And he deserves it. He's been a great addition to the club this year. Terrific guy. Great work behind the plate. And as we know, so many big home runs for the Braves in his first season here. 2-2 pitch. Popped up. Long run down the line for Gordon. Look at him streak toward the stands, but he can't get there. As a fan from Jupiter, Florida, came away with that souvenir in the front row.
Well, we're glad they're here. Enjoy the weekend. Stay out of harm's way. Got a souvenir to go along with a free ticket.
Right? Tough to beat that. The 2-2 pitch is out of play. Mentioned Straley came over from Cincinnati. You look at his numbers last season, and they are really impressive, especially considering that hitter-friendly ballpark. You win 14 games pitching for the Reds, you're having a terrific year, and he did. Hurt pops another one up left side. Anderson in foul ground. He's got it. And there's the first out. But you know all about what happened to Miami last year, the passing of Jose Fernandez. Marlins had to go out and get pitching. They got Volquez. He broke. He's got Tommy John surgery again. Wei Yin Chen, injury plagued again, has hardly pitched at all with a big contract. And because they had to have someone pick up innings, they acquired Straley for Luis Castillo, Austin Bryce, and Isaiah White in January of this year. We were really impressed with Castillo for the Reds.
Yeah.
That was the price the Marlins had to pay to get an established double-digit winning starting pitcher. Here's Rio.
And the Reds, with another injury-plagued season with their pitching rotation, suffered through another tough year. 61 and 79 so far.
They did, however, exercise an option on Brian Price's contract. He's their manager. He will come back and lead Cincinnati next season. They hope to get Homer Bailey right, among others, and get some starting pitching to back up that Reds offense. 1-2 pitch. He is smoked into center field. Rio with a base hit. First of the game for the Braves. He's hitting the ball on the button more regularly. And he's aboard in front of Dansby with one out.
He's had some very good games. And as we have pointed out, and he didn't miss a bad changeup there that was left upstairs. Knew what to do with that. As we've told you, had a good last month of the season at AAA too.
Well, September 1st, Ruiz had 2 hits against the Cubs. September 2nd, Ruiz hit a homer against the Cubs. 2 hits, 3 RBIs against the Cubs. Pretty good series. Up at Wrigley Field. Rio came back with hits in the first 2 games against Texas, and now a base hit tonight. So he's got a nice run at the plate working.
Yeah, he didn't play the last game yesterday of the doubleheader.
So Dansby's on a roll as well. And takes a little low. Dansby's reached in 20 of his last 25 games. His batting average up 29 points now. He's moving toward the 240s.
I was talking to Kevin Seitzer about Dansby today, and I asked him about crowding the plate a little bit. It had been noticed that he had moved up on the plate some. He said, you know, we did that earlier in the season. What we did most recently was open him up just a little bit. That front foot, dropped it back just a couple of inches. He said, but Joe, it's not the mechanics, it's the confidence. He came back from Gwinnett, got some hits, had a little bit of luck, and that bred some confidence in him that right now he's loaded with it, and it shows in the way he plays, especially at the plate.
Off the middle, Gordon knocks it down, spins and fires high at first and into the Braves dugout. So Swanson will, I assume, get a single and take second on the error by D. Gordon, and the Braves have him second and third for Jace Peterson.
Little tweener here. Gordon made a nice bit of glove work, but launched the throw. Spinning back to his right, made it hard for him to get anything on the throw, so he launched it. Heads up in the towels.
So 11 errors for Gordon. It's pretty rare for Miami. They are a pretty good fielding team. At least they have been this year. In fact, they have the best fielding percentage and fewest errors in the National League, somewhat surprisingly. So great chance for Jace Peterson to put the Braves on the board. 62 errors now for Miami, 43 unearned runs. Got the lineup this afternoon and was shocked to see Nick Markakis not in there. Game 139. Nick has played in 138 of the 139 for Atlanta this year. So Jace gets the start out in right field. The pitch.
I'm a little surprised they're pitching to him, but they're ahead in the count. Got the pitcher on deck. If you need 2 outs, I guess their option was Peterson and Newcomb, or Newcomb and Inciarte, and they chose to go the former.
1-2. Let's knock that down.
Chase has had 8 at-bats against the Marlins this year. He's 3 for 8, so good numbers there. 1 for 3 against Straley. Especially behind in the count with Straley, you know you've got to cover that outside third of the plate with a changeup and backdoor slider, and then do your best to try to handle whatever he might try to jam you with. But now he's got the count full. Remember, there's a base open. He doesn't have to give in to you.
So now the 3-2 pitch. Here it comes. And it's lined to left field. That's going to get down for a hit. It's going to score a pair of runs. Jace Peterson with a long single makes it a 1-run game. They pitch to the 8th place hitter, and Jace made him pay.
A heads up at bat too. 3-2. Attempted a backdoor slider. He had it covered and wasn't trying to pull the ball. Had that outer third covered, and he picked up 2 RBIs in the process. Good job.
So the Braves are right back in the game now, 3-2 for Sean Newcomb. Straley had given up 2 earned runs in 13 career innings at SunTrust Park. He's given up 2 runs in the 2nd inning tonight. And now Ellis out for a visit. So that's the question for Don Mattingly. Which Dan Straley is he going to get the rest of the night?
His numbers the second half haven't been that good since the All-Star break. He's just 2-4 with a 5.06 ERA. Again, a ton of run support.
Six runs a game for Straley when he pitches. He got 3 in the first inning. He's given 2 of them back, and now the bunt on a 2-0 count. It's beauty. Perfect sacrifice for Newcomb, his 5th.
A beauty is right. Nice job by Sean.
So you've got Ender and Ciarte with a runner at second, 2 outs, 2 in for the Braves. Ender walked back in the opening inning. Ground ball right side. Realmuto feeds the pitcher covering, and that retires the side. The Braves get a couple of runs, 3 singles, a throwing error by D. Gordon, and Jace Peterson's pop makes it a 3-2 score. Stanton could do when he was healthy and when he figured out his swing. Well, the rest of Major League Baseball's pitching staffs are finding that out here in 2017. 53 home runs for the Marlins right fielder, who's only 27 years old.
Taken 2 picks in front of Freddie Freeman in the '07 draft. Leads in both of those categories, homers and RBIs. Those are kind of important. And 20 homers in his last 33 games. That is amazing.
However, Stanton comes to town ice cold. 3 for his last 36 with 13 strikeouts. Hope that continues. Of course, with those 53 homers, he said his goal is to hit 60 or more. He's on pace to do it. In fact, on this date in 1961, when Roger Maris began his assault to the record books, Roger Maris had 53 homers. Swing and a miss. 2 balls and a strike.
He hit a 477-foot homer off of R.A. Dickey here back in August. That, to my knowledge, is the longest this year at SunTrust Park. And straightaway center, off the wall just below the cameras.
Up and away for a full count.
Surprised it didn't chip the paint off.
It left a mark, though. I can promise you that. Fly ball to right. And playable for Jace Peterson, who makes the grab. Stanton just missed, but he's retired. 1 out. And that's 5 straight set down by Newcomb. He's gotten Stanton twice. And here's Yelich. Yelich with an RBI single in the first inning. He's seeking his 45th multi-hit game. He's got 150 hits this year overall. No balls and a strike.
Story on Yelich is that he's had a very solid year. 287 average, 16 homers, 72 RBIs now. But that in years past, he's always had a stretch where nobody could get him out, where he would go 2, 3, even 4 weeks where he was hitting 400 or better. He hasn't had one of those stretches this year. And yet he's still hitting 287.
Tonight's game features 4 of the top 10 men in hits in the National League tonight. Yelich 10th on that list with 150. You know about Ender Inciarte with his 180. Gordon 167. Ozuna 163. One ball, 2 strikes. What would this guy bring in a trade for Miami? Christian Yelich.
A lot.
The pitch. Didn't get it there. Full count.
2 good pitches, though. Just missed in, just missed away.
Line drive center. Ender on the run. Reaches up and makes the grab. Yelich hit it hard, but Ender tracked it down, 2 outs.
You can hit a ball farther, but you can't hit a ball any more on the nose than Christian Yelich just did. And then you've got to watch that guy haul it in center field and walk back to the dugout wondering what you got to do. Fastball down the middle. Clocked, but caught.
And then people like us who don't see the Marlins play will look at Yelich's numbers and say, well, he's only 2 for his last 14, but probably 8 of the 14 were rifle shots like that. As Ozuna didn't get it, 1 ball, 1 strike. What an incredibly productive player Ozuna is. One of the 3 musketeers in the middle of this Miami lineup. When these guys are going, Gordon, Stanton, Yelich, and Ozuna, there is nothing wrong with that foursome.
They have a tremendous amount of talent in their lineup. If there's something missing from this team from a position player standpoint, it's depth.
Swing and a miss. Ozuna's retired. That's strikeout number 4 for Newcomb. He set down 7 straight. The Braves are back in the game. We head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Like Miami, the Braves boast a very potent offense, especially of late. With Ozzie Albies and Dansby Swanson getting going, they're part of our SunTrust confidence play.
Great work by the offense, and something we've sung the praises of really all year long. The fact that the offense has been pretty potent for the most part.
So Ozzie, Freddie, and Matt Kemp coming up for the Braves here in the 3rd inning. 3-2. Marlins have the lead. And popped up out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Marlins have won the last 3 games Dan Straley has started, in large part because of that big offense that we mentioned. He's got 3 runs tonight, but he's given 2 of them back.
Yeah, he won his last game against the Phillies and only went 5 innings, 9 hits. 2 of those were homers, gave up 4 runs, still won.
And that was the lone win for the Marlins in the last 10 games they've played. As this one's dumped behind 3rd and will land foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Isn't it funny though? He wins 14 games in Cincinnati, and in Miami he's won 9 in what might be the best pitcher's park in the National League, if not baseball. Foul back. 2-2.
Well, as a lot of major league starting pitchers would tell you, it's not how you pitch, it's when. And if you pitch when you're getting some runs to work with, it sure makes it look easier.
Little pop right side. D. Gordon drifts out, Got an excellent jump on that pop up, and he caught it in shallow right. So Albie's off stride. He's retired. And one away for Freddie, who popped out to the shortstop. Pretty light schedule around Major League Baseball, as you see Freddie's work against the Marlins. Big story tonight will be the Cleveland Indians. They're going for a franchise record 15th consecutive win. They are in Chicago and playing the White Sox and lead early 4-2. I think it's Corey Kluber.
Got a complete game from Carrasco last night. Now you get Kluber.
Go get him.
Who I don't think has lost since 1947.
Well, he is 14-4. And the 14-game winning streak is the longest since the 1935 Cubs won 21 in a row. And that's in games without a tie. So there's some tie games thrown along for that run. And then Cleveland's got to worry about Arizona. All they've done is won 13 straight. The only thing that could stop them is the schedule maker. They're off tonight. And it'll be part of our big story when we get to the 7th inning. Full count for Freddie. And down and in. Freeman's aboard. That's the second walk for Straley. Something else he doesn't do often against the Braves.
No, like I said, 3 walks in his 3 starts on the year. That covered 17 innings. 3 walks and 20 strikeouts. But he missed badly with that pitch after he threw it so far down and in, almost hit Freddie in the knee. Straley just turned his back on home plate and yelling at himself.
Ground ball hit to the left side. 6, 4, and 3. A double play. We go to the 4th inning. Miami 3, Atlanta 2.
Xfinity. Xfinity delivers the fastest internet and the most Wi-Fi coverage throughout your home. And by Delta Airlines.
Good ball game in Atlanta. 3-2. Miami has the lead. We're through 3 innings with you at SunTrust Park with Andre Aldridge and Joe Simpson. Chip Carey with you. Game 1 of 4 between the Braves and Miami tonight. Sean Newcomb's gotten back on the beam after a rough first inning that saw him give up 3 runs with 32 pitches. Since then, Joe, he's set down the last 7 in a row, and he's got 4 strikeouts again.
Yeah, 3 strikeouts, or 2 strikeouts over that 7-man stretch. Getting in better counts, not going to full counts on everybody. and got Yelich to hit that rocket right to Ender, more or less.
So we'll start the 4th inning with JT Realmuto, Brian Anderson, and AJ Ellis, the Marlins catcher. That trio's combined 1 for 3 tonight. And up and away, 1 ball, no strikes. With all the talk about the top 4 hitters for the Marlins, I think this guy gets overlooked and probably shouldn't be. He's a good player. Good catcher, and they're kind of giving him the Buster Posey treatment from time to time, letting him play first base with Justin Bour out.
Yeah, and I'm told that when he more or less has a night off from catching and plays first base, he usually has a good offensive night.
Fly ball hit toward Kemp in left. Long run. Man, it's not going to get there. And Realmuto with a big turnaround first throws out an anchor, and he's aboard to start the inning.
Realmuto was a terrific high school quarterback in Oklahoma City. Went to Carl Albert High School, actually in Del City, Oklahoma, suburb. He could probably play anywhere on the field as he dumped that one in front of Matt. And here was his high school opponent, Brian Anderson, who is from Edmond, Oklahoma, and went to Deer Creek High School.
Ground ball past Dansby and into left field. So back-to-back hits for Miami. How about Anderson? First game at SunTrust Park, called up Friday. He's got 2 singles tonight and his first big league RBI too.
Hit it in the right spot too. Just out of Dansby's reach. That thing really hugged the ground.
Oh, worm burner gives Anderson a 2 for 2 night. And Newcomb right back in the soup. With AJ Ellis, the catcher. He flied out to left his first time.
Catcher's speed, though, get him to hit it on the ground. You might get 2.
One more note on Brian Anderson. Baseball America tabbed him as the Marlins' 4th best prospect in their system.
He had a great fall out at the Arizona Fall League. Led that league in homers and RBIs. Had 5 of them. Hit another one in the championship game.
So he's making a September bid for consideration in the spring. And with that in mind, we haven't even talked about what's different about the Marlins since we last saw them. Apparently there's an agreement to purchase the team from Jeffrey Loria, the group led by Derek Jeter. That sale has not closed yet. But the Jeter group did meet the $1.2 billion asking price. There's the ground ball you're asking for. And the Braves turn a 6-4-3 double play.
It's funny, I asked for that, but I asked for $1.2 billion. I didn't get it.
Funny how that works.
I don't understand.
We'll try again next inning.
I was reading some stuff about that purchase that, you know, it has to be approved by Major League Baseball, and there are some red flags. Number one, the guy certainly has plenty of money, but a lot of that is not liquid. And there's so much debt attached to the Marlins that they may want more liquidity in the offer. As Aviles is going to be put on here, and they'll work to the pitcher. And secondly, the comments about how they were probably going to, or their plan was to strip the team down to a $60 million, potentially a $60 million payroll.
Depending on what they do with Giancarlo Stanton.
Yeah, also was a red flag for baseball owners. They said, how are you going to operate this? I mean, is this the way you plan to do it?
Well, here's the question. That same story that I read said the Marlins right now might be operating at a $50 to $70 million loss this year. So those certainly wouldn't be sustainable, you wouldn't think.
So while those guys certainly seem to be the buyers, I don't think it's a done deal yet.
And the other question is, even with the star power of Derek Jeter, will the baseball fans in South Florida tolerate another sell-off of a lot of their very good, talented, popular players? That has happened so many times down there. In many ways, it's broken their fans' hearts. So they really are, in some ways, between a rock and a hard place. That's why players like Brian Anderson are so important for them. They need to find out if some of these kids can play, so that if they have to move veterans and offload some salary, they've got some capable replacements, which goes to your point about the organizational depth that isn't there right now.
Well, they could get some depth right away with about a half a dozen of their position players that they have right now. All outstanding frontline position players.
Lined out of play and into the seats. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Straley. Yeah, if you make some of those deals like the Phillies did with Texas, you get 4 or 5 real good prospects per player that are major league ready or close. Yeah, they could do that. So I think that'll be a fascinating thing to follow this offseason as Straley is down on strikes.
Nice job.
Couple of hits to start the inning, a double play, and then the strikeout of the pitcher sends us to the home 4th. Still a 1-run Marlins game. Success at the big league level. The Braves farm system is still brimming with talent, and as we head into the home stretch in 2017, we're going to show you some of the numbers for some of the Braves minor league pitchers and players. Tonight it's Mike Soroka. He's our Zaxby's feature in game 1.
He pitched at AA this year and also worked in the futures game at the All-Star game for the world team. He's from Canada. 5th ranked prospect, 26 starts at Mississippi. He went 11-8 with a 2.75 ERA. Check out that walks to strikeouts ratio in 153 innings, and finished on a good note too with a 1.50 ERA over his last 3. Mike Soroka, you're going to see him soon. Big tall guy, about 6'7", little low 3/4 sidearm delivery. Pretty nasty.
Ready to feel old?
Older. What's new?
Soroka was born in 1997. And knocking on the door. So Kurt Suzuki leads off for Atlanta here in the 4th inning. And Kurt takes upstairs, 1 ball, no strikes.
And as you probably noticed, I'm wearing a tie older than that tonight.
Well, like you, the tie's in pretty good shape. 3-2 Miami has the lead. The pitch grazed him on the way by. Another catcher for the Braves gets plunked. It's unbelievable. We got to get those guys a Target gift card at the end of the year. They keep getting bullseyed by the opposing pitchers. For Suzuki, that's the 12th time he's been hit. Watch out, Tyler. He's gaining on you.
Oh, that was Jersey. Boy, that was an easy one. Blouse that jersey out there, let it hang loose. Nice.
So Rio Ruiz is up. He singled and scored the first Atlanta run. He came home on Jace Peterson's 1-out single in the 2nd inning. And down and in, 1 ball, no strikes. Here's a good pitch. Even count.
Rio likes that ball down. Likes it down and in like most left-handed hitters.
He's another guy that went down to Gwinnett and got some confidence. Got his stroke back. As Rio said, he went down, started to hit a few home runs, and things just began to click for him. And they've certainly clicked since he's been getting regular playing time with the Braves again. He did not have a good finish to his first stint with Atlanta offensively. He was like 5 for 50, something crazy like that. But those days appear to be long gone for Rio. He now has a 6-game hitting streak, 8 for 20. With a home run in that stretch.
Nothing is better for a young player than to come back up and be put in the lineup to play, as he was after Brandon Phillips got traded, and then get a few hits. Then you're off to the races. Confidence, I'm playing, feeling good. You get called up and you sit for a week, you know, waiting for that next at bat, and you kind of stew on it. Sometimes you don't get the same results.
Bobby seemed to be very good at that when he was the Braves manager. Kid would come up, he'd throw him right out there, wouldn't he?
Yes, he would.
1-2 pitch. And even in the case of a guy like Kelly Johnson, remember when he came up, and I don't remember the exact number, but it was a rough patch. 1 for 24, something crazy like that.
Very good.
And Bobby just said he's playing every day because I've seen him hit and I know he can hit.
And he was hitting the ball. He just wasn't getting any hits.
And the rest, they say, is history for Kelly Johnson. Hope Kelly and his family are doing great. What a terrific family. I've seen him around the ballpark.
Yeah, me too. He was real happy not to see me after Saturday, though. His beloved Texas Longhorns. Funny I didn't get a text from him.
Well, pretty sure he will if he's watching the game tonight. After that comment, 3-2 pitch. He's out of play, foul. Mets are winning tonight 5-2 over Cincinnati. Haven't seen the Mets in a while. We will on our final road trip. Shame what's happened to Terry Collins' club this year. All those injuries to the pitching staff, and then Michael Conforto goes down. Bruce gets traded. Granderson gets traded. Lucas Duda was traded. The Mets will be a far different looking team than the one we saw early this year. As Rio lifts this one toward left, Ozuna said he's got it. And he does for the first out. In case you missed the news too, David Wright is going to try to play again for New York. Not this year. He's undergone rotator cuff surgery to try to fix the shoulder problem. That goes with the neck issue he had, the spinal stenosis problem he had. And look, we as Braves fans love to hate the Mets. You cannot like the Mets, but you can't not like David Wright and what he means to the game and what a great leader he has been for that New York franchise.
That's correct. We wish him well and hope he's back playing next spring. They'll need a first baseman.
And that's, at this point, I'm guessing, not the only place he can play, kind of like Ryan Zimmerman.
Well, I was just thinking about he's about Jeff Bagwell size, you know.
Dansby Swanson bats, and he pops one up. Ryan Anderson in on the grass makes the two-handed catch, and Dansby's retired. Speaking of the Mets, Matt Harvey's going tonight. For New York, this is his second start since coming off the DL with the stress reaction in his right scapula. These reporting starts for Matt Harvey, who is trying to rebuild his value, and I think he's a big question mark with New York. Where does he fit in with the Mets? Does he need to go somewhere else and try to pitch in the major leagues?
Outsider looking in, I would say probably so.
Went 5 innings with 5 hits and 2 runs tonight for New York. I wonder if we'll see Syndergaard before the season's out.
Well, we see him on that last road trip. He's got some time to come back and be in the middle of that.
0-1 for Jace. The pitch. Gretchen tells us that Syndergaard is making a rehab start tonight. So, yeah, it looks like he's beginning to come back and pitch. Chance we might see him head to head with the Mets. Three-2 Miami in the 4th. The pitch to Jace Peterson. He is in for a strike. Another shot the other way by Jace, this time with 2 strikes and 2 outs. At the very least, Atlanta clears the pitcher. Sean Newcomb's going to get a chance to hit here in the 4th inning. Away Jace.
I love it when your backside goes one way and the ball goes the other. Watch him reach. Back pocket's almost out of the box. Cover that changeup again. Nice piece of hitting. Boy, he deserves some hits after all the stress he's been through with Hurricane Harvey and his family and friends in Lake Charles, Louisiana.
So Straley in some trouble here. He's got the pitcher Newcomb up there. Sean laid down a sacrifice.
I was just looking at the Marlins record against other teams. They have a crazy record against the West. They're 17-9 against the West, despite being 1-6 against the Dodgers.
So that's 16-3 against everybody else but LA. If my math is right. 1 ball, no strikes. Another shot the other way. Anderson, though, at the bag is going to make the play, and that retires the side. Straley hasn't been sharp, but he's been good enough to lead by a run, and the top of his order goes back to work in the 5th inning. month begins mid-September, and from the 15th through the 17th, we invite you to join us in celebrating Hispanic heritage through baseball during our Braves and Mets series all weekend long on Fox Sports South, presented by the Georgia Lottery. It is the Marlins and the Braves.
I'm going to say that lady on the left, the Marlins fan, was still doing the chop. It was just a sideways chop.
Yeah, could have been.
Yeah.
See?
She has a sideways chop. She's getting the hang of it.
There we go.
Yeah.
Two lovely ladies on a perfect night for baseball. How about Sean Newcomb? He's turned the ship around. Rough start. Second, third, and fourth innings, though, have been very effective for him.
I liked what he did last inning. He worked his way through 2 leadoff singles and got out of the inning without giving up a run. Double play, intentional walk, struck out the pitcher. Great work.
So one of your forward keys is the man in the box, D. Gordon. Dansby got rid of it quickly, and Gordon's retired. And he is 1 for 3 tonight. Newcomb could use an easy low pitch inning so he can maybe get another one under his belt tonight.
He sure could. You know, Dansby's like Andrelton in this fashion. You know, Andrelton didn't always throw the ball as hard as he could to first base, but he got it there in plenty of time. And Dansby's like that a little bit, and sometimes we don't acknowledge the fact that he's got a good arm too. It's not Andrelton Simmons like, but it's a good arm, as he showed there.
And Stanton with a 2-hopper past him into left field. That zipped right by Dansby Swanson. And that's a moral victory for Newcomb. He keeps Stanton in the ballpark.
Bit of a moral victory for Stanton. He hadn't had many hits lately, other than homers.
That's his first non-homer in his last 38 at-bats. How about that? So he's 1 for 3, and Yelich is the batter. You mentioned how closely Freddie Freeman and Giancarlo Stanton were drafted in the 07 draft. That could have been a draft for the ages for the Braves. As it stands, it was still pretty darn good. Jason Hayward was the #1 pick for Atlanta that year. Braves had 2 #2 picks. They drafted very early in the 2nd round and took a man by the name of John Gilmore. Then it was Freeman and Stanton. If everything had worked and the stars had aligned, it is very likely or possible that the Braves could have drafted Jason Hayward in the 1st round, Giancarlo Stanton with their first 2nd round pick, and then Freddie Freeman with their 3rd. Could you imagine how that draft would rank all time if things had turned out that way?
I'd have a gold star next to it.
Right. 2 balls, 1 strike for Yelich.
I just remember that old saying old Don Meredith used to tell us on Monday Night Football. If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas.
I thought you were going to turn out the lights. The party's over. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And up and in. That spun Yelich out of the way. Nothing wrong with that. Let's see if he snaps a breaking ball over the outside part of the plate.
That must have gotten Christian's attention a lot closer than I thought it was.
Ooh.
But if you're going to throw that curveball, do not throw it in the inner half.
He threw it over the outer half and just missed.
Still liked it. I know it's a walk, but if that had been thrown in the inner half, it might have landed in the chop house.
So that's the 2nd walk. Let's see how close this was to being strike 3.
That again is another great eye for a walk. Really kind of locked him up, kind of froze him where he couldn't pull the trigger, and was lucky that it just missed.
So here is Ozuna, and Suzuki had to stretch out and save that one.
Might have gotten crossed up.
32 homers, 108 runs batted in for Marcell Ozuna. Multi-hit games for this man. He's already got an RBI triple and a run scored, and he's going to pop up this time. Ozzie is out. Jace Peterson calls everybody off, makes the play. So Ozuna's retired, first and second, 2 outs, and JT Realmuto's coming up. And the Marlins have really struggled hitting with runners in scoring position. They were 3 for 5 in the first inning after entering play with a 103 average with RISP in their last 10 games played. They're 0 for 3 since their 3 for 5 start, with men at second and third tonight.
I know it wasn't the first pitch because Suzuki had jumped for the first pitch, but after the meeting on the mound, it felt like the first pitch to Ozuna. And anytime you get him out, any hitter like him out in a tough spot early in the count, what a bonus it is.
Roller hit toward third. That's going to be easy for Rio. And Newcomb has a uneventful 5th. Good job by Sean. Still a 1-run game. Top of the lat order coming up.
Now, Ozzie Albies will be batting second this inning, and over the last 20 games coming into tonight, he hit safely in 17 of them. A marked improvement, a 346 average over that span, a marked improvement over his first 14 games when he only hit 170. But inside the clubhouse, it's his overall athleticism and his defense that's really impressing his teammates. Of course, he made the great play from the seat of his pants last night on a throw from Johan Camargo, but Rio Ruiz and Dansby Swansby both told me, Andre, he's got real short legs, so Jan was probably throwing at the chest. That's just what happens. And of course, when you're his height, you take that kind of ribbon inside the clubhouse. But guys, he is fitting in like a hand in glove and a real spark plug in more ways than one.
Thank you, Andre. He is a lot of fun to watch. Ozzie Albies.
He's going to be around a long time.
Dansby Swanson, the #1 rated prospect by Baseball America for Atlanta, as Ender rips one into the right field corner. He is around first on his way to second. Stanton took a long time to get to it, and now Ender's going to have a triple, and he represents the tying run. Great start to the Atlanta fifth. Ender Inciarte's fourth triple.
Slider, maybe a cutter running in on him, but he got the barrel to it before it could get to his hands. Stanton was waiting to see if it hit that jut out part of the stands. It didn't, so it took him a while to go in there and get it.
So all of a sudden, SunTrust Park is turning into a triples park.
Yeah, love it.
3 of them tonight. And we know all about Will Middlebrooks yesterday. More on that in a second. Will Middlebrooks for Texas had 2 pinch hit triples in the doubleheader. First time that's ever happened in Major League history.
Is that right?
Yep. That was kind of cool when we read about that this morning. Now a spot for Albies to put it in play and get the game tied. That's skied left side and headed for the stands. And it's a ball into strike.
That was a fastball, but they have been feeding him a lot of off-speed stuff here in his first 2 at bats. A strikeout and a pop-up that he kind of waved at. Take a chance and look for something off-speed. Maybe middle away.
The 1 ball, 1 strike pitch. Fly ball right field. Stanton's coming on. There's the catch. Ender's tagging. He's coming home. The throw is up the line. Albies put it in play, and he gets it tied with a sacrifice fly.
Well, it was a fastball, and he got enough of it to turn on it. My question is, coming in and charging in, why did Giancarlo Stanton throw that like a quarterback rolling the wrong way against his arm? He didn't stop and make a crow hop. He's got a powerful arm. But thank you.
So the Braves have come back from a 3-run deficit, and Sean Newcomb doing exactly what you suggested he might. The Lucas Sims game comes to mind. He gave up 4 runs and nothing else the rest of the way against Miami. So Freeman and Kemp are next. Freddie quickly behind 0-2. Freddie with 22 RBIs in his last 30 games. Didn't get that one and is down on strikes. It is Straley's first strikeout since the first inning.
Backdoor slider that Straley got a call on the first pitch to Freddie. I'm sure Freeman was concerned that was too close to take. Might have been a ball.
So 2 outs for Matt Kemp, who was doubled up his last time up. Matt 0 for 2 in the game. And down and away, ball 1. High fly ball whacked toward left. Ozuna back. It is gone. Matt Kemp with a line drive homer. The only question was it high enough to get over the yellow line? And Kemp cleared the fence for his 18th homer. And the Braves have taken the lead here in the 5th.
Great extension. He has not been hitting the ball quite as much to right field as he was earlier in the season, but he got that one out front and hit it out of here. Right in the monkey grass.
So Sean Newcomb now with a lead of a run. Here's Kurt Suzuki, who takes a strike.
A lot of people call it Liriope, but you and I like to call it monkey grass.
Yes, sir. I don't know what Liriope is.
Well, that's Liriope.
Oh,
I think that's Liriope spicata. There are different types. That was long ball spicata.
yes. I thought that was something you ate with chicken.
It is sometimes.
So Matt Kemp, part of a 2-run Braves fifth. Braves got 2 in the second. Now lead 4-3 on 6 hits. Straley about to make his 90th pitch of the night. We have seen him very, very good against Atlanta tonight. I don't think he would classify this as one of his better outings against the Braves.
I think there's some more in keeping with what he's been doing recently, but not against Atlanta.
5+ ERA after the All-Star break. A 2.12 ERA against Atlanta this year. Leadoff triple, a sacrifice fly, and a Kemp homer. Makes it a 4-3 Braves game. And now the pitch. He's banged foul past Ron Washington. And Kurt will see another.
Pretty good player. They're talking to Don Mattingly. Tim Wallach, his bench coach.
The 2-2 pitch is skied foul until Ryan Zimmerman came along. Tim Wallach held a lot of the offensive records that Zimmerman has broken as a member of Washington, which used to be the Expos franchise.
Right. Good third baseman.
The 2-2 is downstairs, full count. The Yankees won a laugher today. They beat Baltimore 9-1. Yankees will now head down to Texas and start a big series with the Rangers tomorrow. Texas 2.5 out of the top wild card. Line drive into left by Suzuki on a 3-2 count. So the Braves have a triple, a homer, and a single in the 5th inning. First hit for Suzuki. And Rio Ruiz gets to swing the bat again.
Slider might have been a hanger. Let's see. It stayed up enough that he could go out around it. Stayed on it. Nice swing by Kurt. Look at this swing again. I want to show you something on Kurt Suzuki, and watch the angle of his body here as he falls into this pitch, we'll say. He's leaning into it, and the follow through is over home plate. It's not falling away from home plate. A lot easier to cover pitches like that, even on a 3-2 count. You get a slider, the guy's kind of pitching you backwards. But if your weight is still over the balls of your feet, you're going to have a chance to react to it, still put a good swing on it. That's what Kurt did.
Quick meeting on the mound with Dan Straley, who's back to the stretch for Rio Ruiz, the Atlanta third baseman, and that's fouled away, a strike. That's Harlan Garcia for Miami. We've seen him a time or two. The 0-1 pitch. Skied foul. It's 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Another pop up back into the stands. Uh-oh.
Well, we had a pigeon issue here earlier in the year on a gentleman's shirt. From Ducks Unlimited, you might remember.
Mm-hmm. Now, who do you think's responsible for that? There's strike 3 over the outside corner. And Ruiz and the Braves are done in the 5th inning, but not before Matt Kemp broke the tie with a line drive solo home run. With 2 outs, his 18th of the year. On we go to the 6th inning. The Braves are in front for the first time. It's now Atlanta 4, Miami 3.
The Braves a 4-3 lead on the Marlins here as we head to the 6th at SunTrust Park. The long ball has lifted Philadelphia out in front in our nation's capital. Our Xfinity game break checks in on the Phillies and the Nats, and Tommy Joseph is 21st of the season. Look how high this one goes off the pole. No monkey grass, but that was a monster shot over the foliage. Phillies now lead by a score 3-2. They're in the bottom of the 6th, Chip and Joe.
You know, they have foliage there, Jerome. It's not, what do you call it? Liriope or
Lirio.
Lirio.
It's the northern variety.
Yes. Well, they have they have the cherry trees in Washington out beyond the fences on the concourse. Hit one of the cherry trees. That's a long way away. So Sean Newcomb, there's your lead. Braves came back from a 3-0 hole. Let's see what he can do in the 6th inning with Anderson, Ellis, and Aviles coming up. Sean has been, other than the 1st inning, much more economical. He's thrown 91 pitches. 32 of those came in the 1st inning.
Again, you learn by to get out of jams by being in there and figuring it out. And he's done that twice tonight already.
If this was a playoff chase situation, you might see the Braves in the bullpen with the lead here. But you're right. Learn how to pitch economically, learn how to pitch with the lead, learn how to pitch when you're a little tired. Third time through a lineup, all of these things you hope will pay big dividends down the road. But a leadoff walk is not what Atlanta had in mind after Newcomb was given the lead. And now Brian Snitker at the bottom step of the dugout is doing some pondering. And here he comes. So Sean went 5 innings, if this is indeed his swan song, with 3 walks. To this point, Brian hasn't taken the ball yet. And now the call will be made. So 3 runs in the first for Newcomb, no runs since. And his final pitch is ball 4 to Brian Anderson, leading off the Miami 6th.
The Georgia Lottery.
4-3 Atlanta has the lead as we continue in the 6th inning. Sean Newcomb's out after 5+ of pretty solid pitching. We were somewhat surprised when the Braves decided to go with a 6-man rotation, Joe, with Fried joining things for Atlanta and Gohara joining the starting 6, that it was Lucas Sims who went to the bullpen. But Brian Snitker said at the time he might piggyback him with Sean Newcomb for his starting assignment. So here he is. Lucas Sims is going to come on and pitch the 6th inning and make his 8th appearance.
Well, Lucas said it today or yesterday that it came as a surprise to him. He didn't see it coming, and he hasn't worked out of the bullpen in quite some time. We'll see how he fares tonight in a 1-run ball game and inheriting a runner. He's due up 3rd in the bottom half of the inning, so it's quite possible this will be a 1-inning stint. So basically go as hard as you can here. You don't have to save anything and try to preserve that lead.
Lucas won back-to-back starts, August 17th and the 22nd, after starting 0-3. He made 12 career relief appearances in the minors. 10 of those, however, occurred in 2013. So it's been a while for Lucas Sims. Let's see how he fares with AT Ellis, Marlins catcher. There's a strike for Ellis. 1-1.
You warm up differently. You don't have as much time. You got to get ready quickly. A lot of differences.
And I would think as a lifetime starter, just the entire rhythm of the game is different. in that if you're used to going through a lineup 3 or 4 times as a starting pitcher, you have a whole set of notes to go by as to how you got somebody out. No such luxury when you come in the game in hot situations like this. But again, part of the learning process for the Braves, who I'm sure are trying to limit some innings as well for all the rookies that are on the staff right now. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Good pitch. It was explained to him, much as it was explained to all of us, that him going to, for Lucas to go to the bullpen, was more to open up a spot so they could take a look at somebody else. Not necessarily a demotion, but as much a, okay, you've had a few starts, we want to get another guy a few starts and have a better idea going into spring training how everybody did.
Up the middle, Ozzie flips to Dansby. Stunner steps across the bag, and how about that? Sims comes in and gets a ground ball and a double play, slickly turned up the middle by Albies. Swanson, and caught by Freddie Freeman at first. Ellis is hitting 2 double plays now.
Just under the glove of Lucas. Nice feed though. Dansby looked like Giancarlo Stanton throwing from the outfield. Throwing on the run. But he got his man. You bet Sean liked it.
That closes the book on him. 3 runs in 5+ innings. He's got the lead. So he's in line to win the game if the Braves can hold on, leading up 4-3. Aviles takes a strike.
Third shortstop of the year for the Marlins. They've traded one away, a good one. Echeverria went to Tampa Bay because they had a kid that they liked a lot, JT Riddle. And then Riddle got hurt and they had to call Aviles up.
No balls, 2 strikes. Tied him up inside, but a little too close.
Wow, 94 there from Lucas. Again, he doesn't have to save anything.
Fly ball softly hit to right. Jace Peterson says he's got it. He does. How about that? Lucas Sims' first big league relief appearance. A double play and a soft flyout preserves a chance for Sean Newcomb to win the game. Braves are up a run. Friday night showdown. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern on Fox Sports South. The Friday night showdown is presented by Kaiser Permanente. If you like strong-armed right-handers, tomorrow night tonight, Mike Fultonevich and Jose Urena.
How about that? The hurricane warning on that little girl's cheek. That was nice. If you like sizzling fastballs, this is your guy, Ryan Ellington. And Dansby was ready for it, and he got a slider. This guy throws 98 to around 101 with a slider. A lot of walks mixed in there too, but he can bring it.
.98 pitches for Straley over 5 innings tonight. 7 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them earned, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, and Matt Kemp's homer broke the tie.
I thought the Braves had a real good approach against him tonight. They were pretty much challenging him to pitch them inside, and left-handed hitters had that outer half covered. Jace Peterson in particular.
Ellington's a Florida boy from Oak Hall High School in Gainesville. In his junior year in high school, he threw 3 no-hitters and was named first-team All-State. Went to Division III University of West Florida in Pensacola before the Marlins selected him as a 16th rounder. What a find.
Lee, really?
Yeah, the throws this hard.
An arm like this. Chase just, or excuse me, Dansby just turned on it at 97.
Two balls, 2 strikes for the Braves shortstop Dansby Swanson, who has a hit and a run tonight. And didn't get that at 98 miles an hour. So Ellington has his first strikeout. Looks to be a one-and-done outing for him too. The pitcher spot for the Marlins is coming up first in the 7th.
Ball had a little ride on it at 98.
Jace Peterson's had himself quite a night. Must be a right field thing. We're so used to Nick Markakis getting multi-hit games. Well, Jace Peterson in for Nick tonight. He's 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs. Another shot to left. This one, though, is going to be caught by Ozuna. Look at that ball carry out to the track. It's a strong man in the batter's box. Jace Peterson hit the ball the other way 3 times tonight. It's 2 for 3.
Yeah, that pitch at 99. Put a good swing on it.
Micah Johnson will pinch hit for Lucas Sims, who worked a scoreless inning in relief. Micah, you might recall, fractured his wrist in spring training, missed the first 87 games this year, and was activated on July 10th and went to Gwinnett, where he hit .289 in 40 games and played all 3 outfield spots. Didn't get that. 0-2. Popped out of play again. And Johnson stays alive, pinch hitting here in the Atlanta 6th. One and two. Sam Freeman looks to be getting ready in the Braves bullpen. He'll come on, it appears, and pitch the 7th.
Yeah, that one inning there for Sims kind of set the team up for the way Brian Snitker's been using them. Sam worked an inning plus last night. Yesterday afternoon, I should say, and the double dip.
Now the 2-2. Fly ball left side. Aviles goes out. Ozuna comes in. It's Marcel who makes the play with a skip. And it's a 3-up, 3-down, 6th for Brian Ellington. Pitcher spot coming up for Miami. We enter the final 3 innings. 4-3 Atlanta the lead. Can not only hit, they can also catch the ball. We've seen some outstanding defense these last couple of weeks from many of the youngsters who are making their first days known in the big leagues.
Good gloves, good arms. And how about this? One error in the last 186 chances by the Braves infield. Rio, Swanson, Albies, Camargo, and of course Freddie Freeman. They have been getting it done.
So that'll help any pitching staff. Hopefully it'll help Sam Freeman, who will face Tyler Moore coming on as a Marlins pinch hitter. Tyler Moore has been pretty destructive against the Braves this year. Most of that damage done against R.A. Dickey.
And he's 10 for 44 as a pinch hitter with 8 RBIs and a homer.
And for Moore against the Braves, 3 for 17. That doesn't sound like much, right? But 2 homers and 5 RBIs. So he starts off the 7th and pops one up. That's headed for the seats. And it's 1-2.
And played some for Gwinnett last year.
Giancarlo Stanton and the Marlins got 3 first-inning runs. They were 3 for their first 5 with runners in scoring position. They're 0 for 4 since. Braves came back with 2 runs in the second, 2 runs in the 5th to take the lead. Braves are trying to go 8-4 this year against the Marlins, a team that they have played very well against. Atlanta's won 18 of the last 29 head-to-head. That's rolled foul.
I mentioned the Marlins' good work against the West has not been so good against the East. 27-35. They only have a winning record against one team, and that's the Mets. 9-7. 8-8 against the Phillies.
Fly ball right side. Albies out. Peterson in near the line. Jay says he's got it. He does. And Moore pops out for the first out of the inning. Well, the Marlins had a terrific run going. They were 13-3 over a 16-game stretch. Then they ran into the Nationals, and that really started them on their downward spiral. Marlins, as we've said, have lost 9 of 10 games coming into action today. They have lost 8 straight games head-to-head with Washington. And 2 series in that 10-game stretch was really costly for Don Mattingly's club, not to mention losing 3 out of 4 to the Phillies.
Yeah, they said it felt like they've been playing Washington for a month. And when you're getting beaten by one team, and the Braves can vouch for that against the Phillies, it seems like you're playing them every game for a week.
You've been in a major league locker room for a team that's been in a pennant chase. The Marlins were below 500 for much of the year, and they put together that furious run when Stanton got really hot. As D. Gordon awaits an 0-1 pitch. Grounds toward short. Dansby fires and got it. 2 outs. There's certainly an excitement that takes place when you're on a great run like the Marlins were on, but does it not take an emotional toll too, in that you use so much energy just to get at or near 500 that at some point the bubble bursts and you can't get that back?
Yeah, I think so. And the other part of it is when you're on one of those runs and then either you get swept a series or you just lose a tough series, then it's very deflating too, because you've worked so hard to get there. It's that old NBA adage, you know, fight so hard from 20 points down that you get there and then you can't finish the deal.
And that seems to be where the Marlins are, who now not only have this awful run to contemplate, but what's going on at home to think about.
Yeah, that's as bad, if not worse, in terms of what's on their mind. They don't have the depth. I said that earlier. They can't rest Stanton or Yelich or Ozuna. They don't have anybody to put in there for a few innings even that might help those guys regroup. You're not going to sit Stanton out the way he's swinging anyway.
Right.
You get my point. What they have, they're out there.
3-0 count. And Giancarlo will take a walk.
He stutter stepped. He thought it was a strike.
Yeah. But Freeman wasn't going to let Stanton beat him. He'll go after Christian Yelich in the lefty-lefty matchup. It's not an easy task. Certainly understandable, but Yelich also a terrific hitter, and Chuck Hernandez on his way out to talk with Freeman.
74 walks for Stanton.
At the end of play on August 27th, the Marlins were 66-63. And I remember you and I talking about them during one of our broadcasts here at SunTrust Park. We both said, I think you specifically said, don't sleep on the Marlins. Nobody could envision losing 9 of 10 games, but they were playing great, getting good pitching. Stanton was hitting everything. Yelich was hot. And then all of a sudden, pop. Balloon.
Nationals took care of that. Christian Yelich handles left-handed pitching just fine, thank you. 276 average coming in. There's a base hit off of Newcomb tonight in an RBI, and then that line shot deep to center that Ender flagged down. Good splits.
Down and away for Yelich. 2 balls, no strikes. If you're going to pitch around Stanton, you don't want to get to Ozuna here. If that happens, the Braves have a right-hander up in the pen. But he's gone, ball 3. And 4 straight puts Yelich aboard. So Stanton and Yelich get 2 out walks. And Ozuna is going to stride to the batter's box. Brian Snitker will pop out of his seat. And he's going to make his way to the mound, we presume, and go get Sam Freeman.
That inning and a third last night might have taken a little steam out of Sam.
So Brian plays the waiting game as well as anybody, and his slow walk and deliberate move out of the dugout buys a few more pitches, and that'll be the end of the line for Sam Freeman, who got the first 2, walked the last 2.
Pitcher coming in, Jose Ramirez, will show you what we've been talking about with the Marlins offense. Their last 10 games, 1-9, 23 runs, but 10 of those came in the win. 220 average, a 103 mark with runners in scoring position, and they've got the tying and go-ahead, potential tying and go-ahead runs on right now for Marcell Ozuna against Jose Ramirez.
And Jose Ramirez has been excellent. 25 holds, the most by a Braves right-hander since Peter Moylan had 25 of those in 2009. The record for a right-handed pitcher is 31, held by Chris Rietzma. Remember Chris?
Sure do.
Back in 2004. Since June 27th, Ramirez has been in 27 games and has given up 3 earned runs with 27 strikeouts in 25 innings.
Key for him, first guy. First batter he faces when he comes in.
Well, this is power in power, as Ozuna took a slider over the outside corner. Ozuna started the game with a first inning triple that brought home a run. He later scored on Brian Anderson's first major league RBI hit.
That was a place you could go in past years and get Ozuna to swing every time. Slider in the dirt, he'd fish for it. But about halfway through last season, that all went away.
Smoked up the middle, a base hit. Stanton's on his way around third. He's going to score. Yelich with those long strides will get to third. And the Marlins get a 2-out hit from Ozuna. They cash in one of those two-out walks. And Miami off the deck ties the game at 4 apiece.
I don't know what it is about the first guy. Last night, Jose came in, quickly gave up a double to Chirinos to center field, and now a high fastball at 97. And boy, can this guy hit a fastball, especially on the inner half. So quick through the zone.
Yeah, a strike to that guy is about 2 inches off the uniform top inside. We've seen him turn on those pitches and hit him out. So Real Muto shoots the next pitch up the middle. Albies will flip to Dansby at the second base bag, and he gets there ahead of Ozuna to send us to the 7th inning stretch. Two-out walks are costly, as is Ozuna's base hit. Miami ties the game 4-4 after 6.5. After the stretch, top of the order coming up for Atlanta. Enter Inciarte, Ozzie Albies, and Freddie Freeman for Atlanta. Saturdays on South, presented by Ford. Catch the rambling wreck of Georgia Tech as they take on the Jacksonville State Gamecocks. The action kicks off Saturday at 12:30 Eastern on Fox Sports South and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. 7th inning stretch in Atlanta. Miami's tied the game. This is Harlan Garcia, the third pitcher, set out to the mound by manager Don Mattingly.
Left-hander's not doing anything against him, as you can see. Fastball, slider, changeup. Fastball sits about 93, tops out at about 96.
He leads the Marlins with appearances, 59 of them entering tonight's action. The last one was a forgettable one for him. 4 runs in a third of an inning against the Washington Nationals. 2 outings ago, he gave up 5 runs against the Phillies in 2/3 of an inning. So times have been tough for Harlan Garcia of late.
He's from the Dominican. Here's something for you Little League parents to ponder. He didn't start pitching till he was 15. He was a soccer player. How did that happen? Why wasn't he playing year-round? Pitching year-round. But somehow he made it to the big leagues. Good for him.
He entered this season as the 6th rated prospect for the Marlins by Baseball America. And it's served into left field with 2 strikes by Ender. There's that soft, controlled swing again. Put it in play. And Ender, another multi-hit game, his 53rd of the year, and 182 hits now.
Yeah, against a guy that's only allowing a 190 average to lefties. Breaking ball, just served it. Foot down, retracted. Why they were playing him off the line, I don't know. Wouldn't have mattered. He hit it over him.
So a service winner for Ender Inciarte brings up Ozzie Albies. He'll bat right-handed. See if he can advance Ender to scoring position with Freeman and Kemp to follow. Another thing you love about Ozzie is he's a switch hitter. And the right side's been his better average side. 9 hits and 26 at bats. And both of his home runs. Sean Newcomb started, went 5+, gave up 3 earned runs. Lucas Sims, his big league debut as a reliever, was terrific. Got a double play and a fly out. Sam Freeman got 2 outs quickly, then walked 2. Ramirez came on and surrendered a base hit to Ozuna to tie the game. Now the Braves try to pick up the pieces here in the home 7th and break the tie. Ender with a leadoff single. Albies 0 for 2 with an RBI, behind in the count.
That looked like a fastball, but I don't believe it was, even though kind of tied him up inside.
That skipped up there. What a stop.
The veteran.
Did you see who was nodding his head on that shot?
Realmuto.
He was. He knew how good a play that was.
Yeah.
Look at this stop.
Change up.
He missed his spot by 4 feet. Somehow Ellis was able to make that play.
A.J. Ellis, who had been Clayton Kershaw's personal catcher when he was playing in L.A.
And Ozzie swings and misses, can't advance the runner. So he's down on strikes for the 2nd time. And Freddie Freeman's coming up.
A little tailing action on that fastball too.
Mentioned Clayton Kershaw. He's on the mound tonight for the Dodgers. They host Colorado. LA's in a bad stretch. They've lost 11 to 12. The one win in that stretch was Clayton Kershaw's first start back from the disabled list. He threw a 2-hit shutout against the Padres, who got 0 balls out of the infield in that game.
Well, he was rusty.
Yeah. 1 ball, no strikes. Ground ball slowly hit toward Gordon. He'll flip to second, and Miami settles for the force play. Ender's retired, Freeman at first, and Matt Kemp's the batter.
Colorado's probably happy to get on the road. They didn't play very well at home, that homestand, and lost 6 out of 10.
And suddenly the Cardinals and Brewers are in their rearview mirror for the 2nd wild card. St. Louis 2 back, Milwaukee 2.5 behind the slumping Colorado Rockies. So Harlan Garcia gives up the leadoff hit, but gets Albies to strike out, Freeman to ground out. And Matt Kemp will face a new Marlins pitcher in a 4-4 7th inning game. See if the Braves can chop away against an Atlanta native who's now on the mound for Miami. It is right-hander Drew Steckenrider out of Greater Atlanta Christian School in Norcross.
Check this out. 25 innings, 9 walks, 37 strikeouts. That's not too shabby for your first time through in the big leagues. Upper 90s fastball for him and a slider. 8th round draft pick.
And a veteran of Tommy John surgery back in 2013. And the first one to Matt Kemp is popped out of play and off to our right.
Matt waving his arms around because he got a mistake right up there about letter high and missed it.
Entering this season, Steckenrider had a grand total of 205 minor league innings. And then some work at AAA this year, and here he is in the show. Was 5 for 6 in saves at New Orleans and threw 33 innings. Boy, isn't that something? 236 innings in the minor leagues, and here he is pitching in the majors. That is a drastic change in the way things used to be done 20-30 years ago. Kemp was late at 97. That's understandable. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
If you don't walk many guys and you've got a big arm, and you do it at a couple of different levels, you're going to be knocking on the door of the big leagues.
Strike 3 over the outside corner, a paint job. And it's a happier return to Atlanta for Drew Steckenrider. He retires Kemp and sends us to the 8th inning, and also sends us out to the Fox Sports set for Jerome and tonight's big story.
Thank you, Chip. The big story is the incredible runs that both the Cleveland Indians and Arizona Diamondbacks are on right now. Last night, the Indians tied a franchise record with their 14th consecutive win. They set it just last year. Right now, they're winning again 7-2 in Chicago. Kluber, on his way to possibly another Cy Young Award, has 10 strikeouts through 5 innings. And the D-backs, one behind him, 13 straight, making a late run to solidify a wild card spot in the National League. They are red hot as well. It is absolutely amazing what these two teams are doing. They're practically unbeatable. Brian, when you look at the Indians, they've outscored their opponents 98-26 in that streak. Well, you can make it 105-31 now, and that game isn't even over yet. Look at that ERA, 1.86. And the D-backs, they trailed only 1 out of their last 106 innings. They're getting out in front early, and they're slamming the door shut. Which one of these two streaks is more impressive?
Well, you know what? I got to go with Cleveland. Terry Francona is the guy. He's the manager that wins all the time, and he brings his team together at the right time. The end of the season, he does a terrific job. But the Diamondbacks, I'm a little surprised at the Diamondbacks. This team is playing very well all season long. I thought they may fall down at the end of the season, but they are picking it up. Goldschmidt is one of the key guys. If he stays healthy, he's had a little shoulder problem that they're checking out. If he can stay healthy, this team might go a long way.
It's very interesting. We've seen the Astros and the Dodgers play so well through most of the season, Chip and Joe, but all of a sudden the Diamondbacks and the Indians making an awful lot of noise.
Cleveland
rocks, right, BJ?
That's right.
They'd like to get back to the World Series and avenge their Game 7 loss to the Cubs. I'd love to see the Arizona Diamondbacks somehow, some way catch the Los Angeles Dodgers. That would be one of the most remarkable stories in history. Even with the good work that Arizona's put together, they're still 10.5 games back after gaining 10+ games in the standings.
Well, I'm with Jerome. That trailing 1 inning out of 100+ innings, that's pretty amazing no matter how many games in a row you've won. I know why Brian likes Cleveland. Cleveland, historically, remember they're the worst losing team in history? Cleveland Spiders.
Oh, the Spiders.
Where'd Brian go to school?
Richmond Spider.
See?
It all comes together, doesn't it?
Little connection there.
What a wonderful web of information you just gave our audience.
Yep.
As we head to the 8th inning, and Brian Anderson's going to lead off. He's had a nice night. Braves get their first look at him. He's been on base 3 times. 2 singles, an RBI, and a walk. So the same thing that plagued Ramirez in the 7th, you hope doesn't plague him here in the 8th, and that is, of course, the proverbial first batter. Braves were hoping to retire Yelich in the 7th with Sam Freeman. Then he could have Ramirez a clean inning. He's got a clean inning now, and that one right underneath the glove of Ozzie Albies for a rare error. As we showed you, the Braves with 1 error and 180-something chances. This one came at a real tough time. It starts the 8th inning. And Anderson's aboard for the 4th time in the game.
Hit him another 500 ground balls, that won't happen. But it did here at an inopportune time.
So only Ozzie's 2nd error. But it brings up A.J. Ellis, who shows bunt and got it down. Freeman will have to wait for Ozzie to get to the bag, and he did in time. The successful sacrifice chases Anderson to 2nd with 1 out, and Mike Aviles is scheduled. Let's see if Don Mattingly goes.
He's got Dietrich available on the bench, and I think that's who's coming up.
And then you've got Ichiro Suzuki on deck. So it is Derek Dietrich for Aviles. Derek Dietrich always saves his best for the Braves. I don't care what this guy is hitting. I don't care how badly he's slumping. When he plays the Braves, he gives them fits. He's hitting .310 against Atlanta this year, 9 for 29, including a homer. He's a lifetime .283 hitter against the Braves.
Good fastball hitter, good low ball hitter. That home run, I'm fairly certain, was right into the chop house.
Now we talk about pitchers having reverse splits. Derek Dietrich has reverse splits. He's hitting .313 against lefties. He's hitting .228 against righties.
How about that?
How does that happen? No balls, 2 strikes. With 1 out. And Dietrich down on 3 pitches.
Good changeup there. Woo. Made short work of that. Perfect spot for it, too. It's a little bit of a screwball spin, boy, coming out of that changeup grip. Going down and away from lefties.
So Ichiro Suzuki's coming up. A pinch hit single last night, which was his 25th pinch hit of the year. That extends his single season Marlins club record. Ichiro leads the major leagues in pinch hits this season, and he leads them by 10. Pat Valaika and Jesus Aguilar have 15 each. He's 4 pinch hits behind John Vander Wal for the single season record all time for pinch hits. And that's off the plate. Little pop behind third. That's trouble if Dansby can't get there. He can't. And a run is going to score. The ball drops in front of Lane Adams as Ichiro Suzuki, with a perfectly placed blooper, scores Brian Anderson, and Miami cashes in the air and takes the lead again.
Change up. Right off the end of the bat, he could barely reach it. But he's got over 3,000 hits, so they're not all bloops. And that hurt.
So with that pinch hit and with that appearance, Ichiro now 88 pinch hit at bats this year, a new single season major league record. It's also his 95th plate appearance as a pinch hitter, which moves him past Rusty Staub for the all-time single season record. Rusty Staub did that in 1983. Record after record after record for Ichiro Suzuki. That was base hit number 3072 in the major leagues. Next on the hit list is Cap Anson, who had 3081. Foul near Giancarlo Stanton, who got out of the way quickly. 2 balls and a strike. So the Braves will have to rally down a run. 5-4. Miami with a run in the 7th, a run here in the 8th. Ichiro's running. The pitch is lined into left field by D. Gordon. And Suzuki has to stop at second with a play in front of him. And Ramirez has given up back-to-back hits now, and Giancarlo Stanton is coming up with a chance to do serious damage.
For everybody that's been watching Stanton and knowing that he's set a goal of at least 60 homers, here's what he's got left. Games remaining against these teams and how many homers he's hit against them. And those games against the Rockies are at Coors Field. Those games against the Phillies are at Citizens Bank Park. And as you know, tonight and 3 more against the Braves here. Those Arizona games are out west, also in a good hitter's park.
Stanton's hit 27 homers since the All-Star break. He's hit 42 of his 53 homers in the number 2 spot in the lineup. And here he is with 2 outs. One ball, 1 strike. And time requested by Kurt Suzuki. Popped up, but hit it down to play behind the Braves dugout foul. And the fans will chase down the souvenir. It's 1-2. Rockies got 3 runs off Clayton Kershaw in the first inning, and they're still batting at Dodger Stadium. John Gray pitching for Colorado tonight.
Great matchup. Rockies have got to be giddy about that.
Nolan Arenado hit a first inning homer.
Dodgers have been giving up a lot of long balls, including 4 the other night to J.D. Martinez.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Did he go? Nope. 2-2. Yeah, Martinez, I think the 18th man in history to have a 4-homer game. Second guy to do it this year. Scooter Gennett was the other. And a 4-homer game is rarer to see in the big leagues than a perfect game is, believe it or not. Pitch is golf towards short. Dansby's got it. Long throw, and Freeman makes the play. There have been 23 perfect games in history. There have been 18 4-homer games in history. No homer for Stanton, but Miami cashes in an error, and they take a 5-4 lead to the bottom of the 8th inning, where Kurt Suzuki gets things started for the Braves next. Marlins. Miami's come back with single runs in the 7th and 8th innings, and they have taken a 5-4 lead. Now, a man that sets down Braves batters seemingly 3 at a time. Mr. Bearclaw is on as Miguel Rojas takes over at shortstop. Bearclaw has been tough against Atlanta in his career, Joe. A 1.56 ERA in 19 career games.
I think if you ask the Braves, they'd probably put him in the top 10 in the National League among relievers that are just nasty and hard to hit. Fastball upper 90s. He'll break 100 miles an hour, and a good hard slider.
Kurt Suzuki, the first man to greet him in the 8th inning. And he takes a strike.
Hard to pick up. Ball is on you in a hurry. It's a short arm action. He missed a little time a few weeks ago with an oblique issue, but he's back now.
No balls and a strike. Marlins got Kyle from St. Louis for Steve Cishek at the deadline in 2015. And then a couple of weeks later, Bearclaw made his big league debut against the Braves at Turner Field on August 7th of that season. Little pop into shallow right. Stanton comes on, and he's there. Suzuki's retired for the first out. Last year, Bearclaw struck out 14 men per 9 innings, the highest strikeout per 9 innings rate by a Marlins reliever in club history. And they have had some good ones.
Yes, they have.
Down in Miami. Led all National League relievers with 113 strikeouts. He did that in only 97 innings.
Well, they traded away their closer, A.J. Ramos, to the Mets. And they traded away somebody else, David Phelps. So you may be looking at their closer for next year.
One ball, no strikes for Rio Ruiz. Well, for a Marlins team that has so many pitching questions, if they can solve that one. Okay, we know we've got a pretty good feel for the 9th inning. Now, how do we get the ball to the 9th inning would be the next logical question.
Work your way back to the starter.
And tonight, Ellington, Garcia, and Steckenrider were 3 pretty good options for Don Mattingly after Dan Straley went 5 innings in his starting assignment. One ball, 2 strikes for Rio, who had a 2nd inning single and scored a run. Chase Peterson brought him in as that one's popped out of play. A ball and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Rio didn't get it. There's a strikeout for Bearclaw. 2 up, 2 down.
I was just looking at the Braves active roster against this guy, and there's a couple of people who have some hits. Matt Adams 2 for 3 with a double. Freddie Freeman 2 for 4. After that, it's slim pickings. Camargo 0 for 1. Garcia 1 for 6. Inciarte is 1 for 3. Kemp 0 for 2. Nick Markakis is 2 for 9, and he's walked 4 times against him. That's a good number. Peterson, Suzuki, Swanson a combined 0 for 8.
Let's see what Dansby can do. He's 1 for 3 and scored a run. Crowd tonight 24,561. If you have major weekend plans, hope you'll join us here at SunTrust Park Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon. And again, if you missed the announcement earlier tonight, the Braves are offering free tickets to any of the displaced fans from Florida, Coastal Georgia, Coastal South Carolina. All you have to do is come to the SunTrust Park ticket office, present your ID, and you'll be able to come in and watch the Marlins and Braves. A wonderful gesture made by Derek Schiller in the Braves front office to hopefully help those who are suffering so much and are in the path of Hurricane Irma to take their minds off of that and come out and enjoy a game.
It's a great thing.
Two balls and a strike. And now Braves are down to their last strike in the inning. Good cut, fouled away. Eric Law was not a first-round draft pick by the Cardinals. They took him in the 7th round in 2012 out of St. Mary's College.
It's another one of those good Cardinal drafts that are not in the top 3.
Yeah, 15 rounds, 22nd round. They did a great job scouting and finding this guy. Not sure if that was the John Mozeliak era or the Jeff Luhnow era, who's now the general manager in Houston. Either way, it was an excellent find for St. Louis. Now an excellent trade for Miami. Good fight here by Dansby. He'll see another pitch, 3-2.
He's fighting off some pretty good fastballs. That one 94. Has an infield hit tonight, 1 for 3.
Braves are 15-21 this year in 1-run games. Miami is 15-18. That's what we've got with 2 outs in the home 8th. Lined into left field. That is a well-earned single for Dansby Swanson, who's got a 2-hit night.
Hadn't gotten around on a fastball, so he threw him a slider. Sped his bat up a little bit, and then it wasn't a very good slider right in the middle of the plate. Good note from Jared here on Dansby, just to highlight the good work he's put in here since he came back from Gwinnett. Dansby's now above 240 for the first time since opening day.
Wow. Good for him.
Hard work to get there.
So Dansby's got 2 hits. Jace Peterson has 2 hits and 2 RBIs. Let's see if Jace can cap a great night with a run scoring hit here. The Braves need 1 to tie, 2 to take the lead. Ball, 1 strike. Adonis Garcia has grabbed a bat. If Peterson could reach, looks like Adonis would hit for Ramirez. 2 balls and a strike. High fly ball left. Long run Ozuna near the line. Cannot get there. Just too far for him to go. Whether by accident or design, Jace Peterson has been peppering the left side of the diamond tonight.
I like it. All too often, if he's trying to pull the ball, he's rolling over a lot of pitches to second base. And as we have seen this inning, this guy's hard to pull unless he makes a mistake.
Braves need 1 more base runner to guarantee a shot at Freddie Freeman coming up in the 9th. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a good eye. Full count.
That's a big pitch right there. Full count, 2 outs. Fast runner at first. Let's see if Real Muto plays behind him with a left-handed hitter. They try to cut down on Jace's jump. Going to hold him.
So Barraclough piling up the pitches. Got 2 quick outs, but now he's about to make his 22nd stressful pitch. Runner goes, and a swing and a miss. And Peterson and the Braves are out of luck in the 8th inning against their longtime nemesis, Kyle Barraclough. We are through 8. Miami cashed in an unearned run to take a 5-4 lead.
Fans want to remind you, you can get a rare behind-the-scenes look into an Atlanta Braves television production with the new Behind the Broadcast ticket package. This unique opportunity will get you into a question and answer with Fox Sports South's Chip Carey and Joe Simpson, a ticket to the September 16th game, and a tour of SunTrust Park with a commemorative media pass. Visit Braves.com/behind-the-broadcast to get the details. It's a great deal, fellas.
Okay, Andre, thank you very much. I know there are going to be a lot of questions. I can't promise we're going to have any answers.
Oh, I'll have answers, but you need to do some studying. Did you complete that homework assignment I gave you earlier?
I did, yes.
Okay.
Me and my 2.0 high school GPA are well prepared for our behind-the-scenes broadcast appearance.
That high, huh?
So, I'm out of here.
You just keep going. See how far this will take you.
Yeah, well, you know, I learned from the master. The old man used to dig some pretty deep holes himself. As Christian Yelich greets Rex Brothers and skies one down the line, out of play, foul. Yelich, Ozuna, and Real Muto for Miami in the 9th.
No, that'll be a fun day. Visiting with the fans about the inside workings.
No balls and a strike for Yelich. as that one's out of play, foul. Look, Joe and I are in front of the camera. Andre, BJ, Jerome, Nick Green, Jeff Francoeur, Kelsey, Rebecca Capel. We get a lot of the credit, but the people who really deserve the credit are the great folks on our crew who are behind the scenes. Of course, our great stat man Jared Burleson, keeping us on our toes upstairs. But our producers Brian Woodrum and Gretchen Caney, directors Gary Lehman and Mike Miller, and so many others who make these Fox broadcasts so much fun for us and hopefully so much fun for you. We're really lucky to have them, so hopefully you'll have some questions for us.
Yeah, and we'll have all the scoop.
Yep.
On Val and Dave Poole here in the booth.
By the way, what are they eating? What was that?
I don't know, but I want one.
Oh my, look at that. Oh, that's the Burger Eats, so we haven't had one of those in a while.
Oh, yeah. No, we'll wait till tomorrow.
It's getting a little late, but holy smokes, that looked good, didn't it, George? With
Not
Delaware North, look at that.
Oh, not too late for those guys. I bet they just drove in. Had a long drive from somewhere down around West Palm Beach. And
Ozuna didn't get it.
They were trying to think of some place to eat, and they said, well, let's go to SunTrust Park. Free ticket. A lot of chow.
Yep. That looks so good. We didn't get to eat dinner tonight. We were hard at work preparing for the broadcast tonight. Swing and a miss. Ozuna's down swinging. Brothers is off to an impressive start. 2 up, 2 down.
Yeah, you strike out Yelich and Ozuna back to back. You got something working. Good slider. Perfect spot.
Now, I don't know though all the details on the Burgerizza. Do you get a choice of pizza? I mean, is it pepperoni or is it just cheese?
I'm assuming it's a burger in between 2 slices of pizza.
Right, but I mean, what kind of pizza is my question? You can't have like a Hawaiian pizza. You can't have a veggie pizza. That would defeat the purpose.
No, but you could have an all-world pizza. You know, one of those deluxe everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but see, look at their hands.
That's like that's a train.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, rub your eye. You know, if I had a fork.
Wow. JT Realmuto, 1 ball, no strikes. How many people are eating that thing?
I don't know. Well, that's a good question. But it's just a small little sampling of the hundreds of things there are to eat here that are all good.
1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, Val is real partial to the pimento cheese patty melt.
That was pretty good.
We've had the
nachos,
brisket cheesesteak. That was really good. Pizza's really good.
Yeah, just the pizza itself was outstanding. Just think.
Right.
You put a H&F burger in between that thing.
And that burger looked like it was cooked perfectly, right? Just medium, maybe medium rare.
No.
No?
No, you got to cook it. Cook the burger.
Well, that guy looked like he was cheating too. He was eating the pizza, not with the burger at the same time. I don't know if that's allowed in SunTrust Park rules.
Well, think about it. If it falls apart, then you got like 3 meals sitting there in front of you. You know, the meat falls out. You got 2 pieces of pizza and a burger.
Look at that poor guy. He's begging for a napkin.
Yeah.
He's just.
Yeah.
He's like a car mechanic.
Hand me your jacket.
Right. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Get that man a shop towel. The pitch is fouled at the plate.
Yeah, you want to record that.
Yeah. You know the famous line from Tommy Boy, David Spade, talking with the great Chris Farley. Ugh, I can just hear you getting fatter. That is excellent. 2 balls, 2 strikes. What an inning. Maybe the best for Rex Brothers as a Brave.
Yeah.
Especially considering who he went through. Yelich, Ozuna, and Realmuto. Last call for the Braves. Burgeritza time and a rally time too.
Impressive, those 3 strikeouts by Rex Brothers, or those 3 guys trying to eat that burgeritza. Either way, the big question, BJ, do we skip breakfast and lunch or just lunch to try to eat one tomorrow?
You know what? That was huge. I would love to try that. I got to find that burger, man. That looks pretty good.
That looked very tasty. Okay, I know you're also impressed with the way the Braves battled back to take the lead before Miami grabbed it again. And, of course, Newcomb, the way he settled down.
You know what? Newcomb gave up 3 runs in that first inning, but he really settled in, got through 5 innings. I love the fact that Snick took him out after 5. And how about the bullpen? Lucas Sims getting his first little relief appearance. Looked really good. So bullpen picked him up tonight.
Let's get you back for a tasty bottom of the 9th with Chip and Joe.
Like the way that sounds, Jerome. Brad Ziegler's on to try to close it out for Miami. Matt Adams is going to try to hit a home run and get it tied for the Braves. We're in the 9th. Ziegler 9 out of 12 in saves. A submarining right-hander.
Got to be patient. Got to wait for him to get the ball up. He's not a strikeout guy. He's mid-80s, if that, on his fastball with a sinker.
And that one is foul. Just foul. There's a break. Realmuto was right at the bag. Well, Brad Ziegler's no kid. He's 37 years old. Out of Pratt, Kansas. And he spent a lot of time on the disabled list. 31 games he missed with a right back strain. Took over the closer's role once Ramos was traded to New York. Earned his first save on August 1st against the Nationals. And is 9 of 10 since becoming the Miami closer. Ziegler had some really good years with Oakland. And then, of course, with the Arizona Diamondbacks, including a 32 save season for them in 2015 with a 1.85 ERA. And a line drive the other way. That's headed for the corner by Adams. So he's on his way to second. Is a pinch hit leadoff double. Boy, the Braves have done an excellent job of going the other way against the Marlins staff in this game. Really impressive work.
Just when you think Matt Adams is probably up there just to try and hit one in the chop house to tie this thing up. Little, if any, stride, and we've seen him do this before. Line a double the other way. He will give way to Nick Markakis, who will pinch run for him.
Now look at what's on Nick's right hand as he stands out at second base. He's got a brace on his right hand. I wonder if he hurt himself on that catch against Texas yesterday where he kind of rolled over his wrist.
Yeah, I rolled forward on his wrist.
So the legs are fine. Maybe the hand isn't. And he'll pinch run for Adams. Ron Washington, a long chat with Inciarte. Let's see if he's bunting. He wasn't, and he bangs it foul. Strike one.
Well, one thing about Ziegler, you're going to get a pitch probably down that's easy to top and hit on the ground. That's what he wants you to do. He's not a strikeout guy.
He's got 9 double play balls. Tied for third most among all National League relievers. And you're right, Joe, a 65% ground ball rate. A shot to first, productive out. Runner to third, one away.
Great job.
Look at the Braves bench. They'll greet Ender. He's trying to get to 200 hits, but he executed that sequence perfectly. Pulled the ball, got the runner over, and now Albies and Freeman a chance to get it tied.
Well, and a very strong possibility that he'll get Ozzie to hit the ball on the ground too, and with that and the potential tying run at third base, the infield in. Got to get something you can elevate.
Ozzie is 0 for 3 with a sac fly. And gets that one foul at the plate.
Got to be patient. Never faced him before. He's only going by scouting reports.
Here's a good take. 1 ball, 1 strike.
If it's something that starts around your knees, you can't swing at it because it'll be at your ankles in no time.
One ball, 1 strike. Tying run at third. Nick Markakis as a pinch runner. And the pitch. Fly ball hammered toward the gap. Stanton won't get it. That's up against the wall. Ozzie's on his way to second. He's going to turn and throw out an anchor and stop there. And the Braves have tied the game. Albies with an RBI double. He was thinking about 3, but slammed on the brakes at the very last second.
Well, watching the replay, he might have taken a look over at Ron Washington, who may have held him up. Representing the winning run, he didn't want to get him thrown out at third base, but I thought he had third. There's a pitch up, a slider that he got above the knees, and he whacked it.
So a 2 RBI night for Albies.
No, he stopped on his own. He never looked at Ron Washington.
The Marlins walked Freeman intentionally, which you understand. And now it's Lane Adams who took over for Matt Kemp in left field. So here we are again. 7th inning, 8th inning, 9th inning. The Braves are doing what they do, scoring late. 238 runs in the 7th inning or later for Atlanta. They need 1 more to walk off with a comeback win. As we said, Newcomb gave up 3 runs in the first. The Braves needed at least 4 to secure their 30th comeback victory of the year.
Same thing applies for Lane. Make him get the ball up.
Ball, 1 strike. Stanton's been a clutch hitter for Atlanta. 6 for 15, a 400 average with runners in scoring position. He's got Albies at second base, 1 out.
And very difficult to double him up.
Lane ahead now, 2 balls and a strike.
Oh, there it was.
And he knew it. So Ziegler battles back to an even count. Key man is Albies at second base. Here it is. And a bouncing ball hit toward third. Tricky hop. And that's all Miami can get as Anderson steps on the bag to force Albies. 2 outs. And it's up to Kurt Suzuki if the Braves are to win it in the 9th. Kurt's 1 for 3. He was hit by a pitch back in the 4th inning. He singled in the 5th.
Pretty smart play there by Anderson. Needed a double play to get out of the inning, but around the horn double play with that big chopper, he probably knew he didn't have a chance and took the lead runner instead.
Suzuki ought to know all about Ziegler. They were teammates with Oakland. Let's see what happens now. The pitch floats in for a strike. No balls, 1 strike. Freddie Freeman, the runner at second now, and Suzuki didn't get that.
2 breaking balls to start him. That one at 73 miles an hour.
So now it's an 0-2 pitch. And Kurt hammers it down the line. Here comes Freddie around to score, and the Braves won.